This just in, folks. The police charged 2 men with stealing fireworks and batteries. They charged one and let the other one off.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there, and welcome to another edition of 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you're tuning in through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, all the different platforms, VirginiaPreps.com too, and all our friends watching on Cox Communications and through your review. It is July. We're in the heat of summer, and morning, sir. How's your July treating you?
Hot. Good morning to all. The coach greets all. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot, but it's great to pop the eyes open, feet touch the ground, and keep that consecutive day streak going. So I'm happy.
You're always encouraged to interact with us through all the different various social platforms. We can put your comments up through the YouTube and the extra Twitter. We unfortunately can't through the IG, but we do say good morning to all of those out there like Kay Lewis, Coach Dan Malloy, James Timmons, and many others watching through the IG platform. We've got a busy show for all of you today, including coming up in just a little bit. Our first guest will be the head football coach, the new head football coach of the Tallwood Lions. Yes, Ed, it is that time of year where we're talking football and guests galore. That's Glenwood Ferebee. We've got our clip with our man Jack Lowe of Cova Sports TV, as he's going to chat with CJ Frasier of the Western Branch Bruins, who made his verbal commitment here recently to the Naval Academy. And then we've got George Pantas. He is the once upon a time commissioner, now the commissioner again for one night only at the Portsmouth Pavilion for Virginia Championship Wrestling. So Ed will be like a little kid in a candy store, excited as can be for that. I'll probably just get like one question in at the most during that segment. And then we have Sonny Dearth talking tennis with us. Wimbledon, the women's final going on today with Iga Swiatek against Amanda Anisimova, the American. And then another American was denied a chance to get to the final. No shock there. Taylor Fritz put up a good effort in the men's semi, but we got a classic, and I do mean classic, 1-2 final coming up on the men's side of things with Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champ, taking on Yannick Sinner, who ousted one Novak Djokovic. That's all coming up. Ed, though, as you see the news about VBU, Virginia Beach United, trying to make the playoffs. Yeah, playoffs for soccer. They play their home games at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, the great folks who are so gracious to host our podcast. It is time quickly, though, for our 5-minute burning topic. Are you ready?
Always ready.
Always ready. He was born ready, ladies and gents. Listen, when they took him out of the womb, he had one of those little rattlers that said "born ready." Right? That was you. Okay, here it is for today. It has to do with baseball. Ed's feeling a lot better about his Bronx Bombers than a week ago when our burning topic had to do with Aaron Bleepin' Boone. We say Bleepin' because his team came back against the Mariners, who I were pulling for so bad on Thursday night, couldn't complete the no-hitter with Brian Wu, and they lost in extras. Then they pounded the Cubs. Today's 5-minute burning topic: will a marquee name like Atlanta's Ronald Acuna Jr. or Pittsburgh's Paul Skeens be dealt before the MLB trading deadline? What do you think?
No.
Those
two guys definitely won't be traded. Guarantee it. Will not be traded. As far as a name player, I'm going to assume we're talking somebody hitting 300 or a pitcher that's potentially top 12, 10 Cy Young Award winner possibility. Maybe, but I doubt it. Good morning to Keith. They talk about trade deadline, a lot of activity. Teams really need this team. And then it's not much happening. You're going to see teams trade off guys that are going to be free agents that they're fairly sure they're not going to be able to sign or want to sign. And there is a want of them by somebody else. But then again, somebody might figure, well, we can get them in the offseason, and we don't really think they would be that big of a difference for us second half of the season. So there's different mindsets as the trading goes. I don't look for a whole lot of big trades or in terms of numbers in general. That usually happens in the offseason at the general manager meetings in the winter leagues.
I hate to agree with you, but I do almost 100% on that, because Ronald Acuna Jr., despite the 2 injuries and being 27 years of age, I don't see him getting dealt. Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh would be crazy. I've even heard some people say Detroit should go get him to pair with Tarek Skubal and have a 1-2 punch unlike any other, or at least since maybe Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling 24 years ago when the D-backs beat your Yanks in the best ever World Series. Not going to happen. Pittsburgh will not mortgage the future that quickly and get rid of its franchise face. They might get rid of another starter, some bullpen arms if anybody wants them, or perhaps even, some bats like O'Neal Cruz or Brian Reynolds or maybe Andrew McCutchen, a veteran who's been around a while. But I don't see them getting rid of one of those marquee names. Now, there will be I think there'll be a flurry of activity, and there will be a lot of relievers in high demand from some teams that are on the fringe, your Clevelands, your Minnesotas, your teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack. Maybe a St. Louis or Cincinnati if they fall out of it in the National League side of things from the central divisions. But I don't think that will take place. I don't think either one of them will get dealt as much as they will be wanted. You'll take King's ransom will be the exact what you'll need to get one of those 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh would be more than idiotic to trade Skeens. Best young pitcher in the game. What they've got to do is
he better than the Miz though from Milwaukee? Mizorowski, you like him though? He has been
yeah, but I'll give me Skeens. But I like him. But give me Skeens.
I'll take the Miz. Give me the Miz.
It's the Pirates need to fix themselves, put some pieces around him, pay this kid. They're going to have to pay him when his rookie contract expires, or he is going to leave free agency. And as for Acuna Jr., as I said, he was going to be the up-and-coming guy in Major League Baseball. Injury have hit him. But I don't think Atlanta has soured on him. Atlanta has definitely had a not good year as what is expected. If they fall off the table, I think Brian Snedeker will be gone. Maybe they need a new voice in the clubhouse. They have too much talent to be floundering. But then again, they're in a division with the Phillies and Mets, 2 other teams that, when they're hot, they're extremely good. So, I just don't – you think there'll be a lot of trades. I don't even think there'll be a lot of trades of consequence. And one of the reasons I'm going to pick what you said, everybody needs pitching, especially in relief. So who's going to give it up? And then all of a sudden they're going to need it. Unless you got those bottom feeders who figure we're out of the race. We're going to dump some salary. That way that goes. Baltimore just sent Brian Baker, not a big deal, to Tampa Bay.
Right.
So you'll have to see what some of those bottom teams do in terms of dumping salary is the big thing. And then guys that will be free agents. That's the guys that'll move.
Yeah, the Mets need a lefty reliever, a center fielder. A lot of teams need situational relief pitching, whether it be a closer, a setup man, a right-hander, you name it, from teams that are in contention. But ultimately, in some ways, Ed, too, it's also maybe easier to get a relief pitcher of quality of ilk rather than a starter. But yeah, that's where it looks like. And I don't see Skeens getting traded just yet. I know your Yankees would have loved to – he would have given Bellinger in the farm for him until the 3-home-run game on Friday versus the Cubbies for Mr. Skeens. But I don't see him or Acuna, who has pulled out of the home run derby just yet, being dealt. Speaking of the home run derby, our man Jack Lowe says, hot take, he's got James Wood winning the home run derby, just like all the Nats do, and he might leave the Nats. I'll tell you what, they better not let James Wood go, because that guy is I'll say this, he's not the best hitter in baseball. That's reserved for guys like Judge and Otani and Cal Raleigh these days. You can put Juan Soto up there when he's hot and going. But James Wood, if you're talking under 25, he's going to be in that conversation sooner than later. He is mighty, mighty good. He's hitting a home run like every other night. He's really, really good. And I don't disagree with that pick. Maybe Ed will give us a home run derby pick later in the show if time permits. But we have to take a quick timeout. We've got more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk. It's a jam-packed show, and you'll hear from Jack in just a little bit as he spoke with CJ Frasier of the Western Branch Bruins. He's going to the Naval Academy. Yeah, go Navy, beat Army. Or sometimes they say go Army, beat Navy if you go the other direction with the Black Knights. It's all coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
What animal is always at a baseball game? A bat. Hear it? That's a bat.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Coach is not amused, ladies and gents. Our man Keith wants to know how far the Lafayette Rams can go in the state this year. They did graduate a good chunk of their team, Keith. And Lafayette now, in terms of classifications, I think you'll be interested to know this, being the Smithfield aficionado or diehard fan. that you are. Lafayette, different competition level for the region now because they move up to Class 4 Region A where the Phoebus Phantoms have been running things. So going to be tricky. And I say running things. They've been running things. They still may run things, but Verona out of Richmond is going to be mighty, mighty good. That Region B is loaded with Louisa, Dinwiddie, Verona, and Huguenot. Have fun getting out of the first round if you're not one of those 4 teams. But that is there. And our man stuff coaches say there's nothing like being a Pittsburgh sports fan. The Pirates are just plain awful. Great arms, almost 0 bats. The Pens are slowly trading everyone for developmental guys. And the Steelers have the oldest defense and a 40-plus-year-old quarterback. Doesn't sound too fun or promising, does it, to be in Pittsburgh? And you are a PA native, Edward. What do you have to say about that from stuff coaches say? You concur?
And I'm a big Steeler fan. I love the Penguins.
And a Raider fan, which makes 0 sense.
Yeah, but we're on opposite sides of the world, so that works out for me.
We are, that's for sure.
Yeah, stuff coaches say, just be patient. Pirates ownership, Steelers, everybody's anxious to see what Rodgers is going to do. I think the defense will be all right. Always is. Can Tomlin do something that he hasn't done in a while? And Pens, maybe the Pens are decided to, make those major franchise changes now before everybody gets too old. And then now they're buried. Some teams don't, rebuild. It's kind of like a reload so that they don't drop to the bottom, which happens sometimes when you completely rebuild. But, Pittsburgh fans are usually fairly faithful and endure some stuff by certain ownership. But the one that gets me is the Pirates. I just think the ownership with the Pirates, I think he just likes having a team, and that's about it. Whether they do anything or not is secondary.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Mike Tomlin, a guy you referenced there, being out of Denby High School in Newport News, and William and Mary, and you are one of the only in the country that can support both the Steelers and the Raiders, who had that hated rivalry back in the 70s. But speaking of,
I think there's more. I think there's a lot of maybe not in this area. I think there's a lot of Raiders.
I think you can count them on 1 or 2 hands, but you're one of the only people in the country that we can say that for. But speaking of the country and serving our country, CJ Frasier of Western Branch High in Chesapeake is going to do that for the Naval Academy. And our man Jack Lowe of Cova Sports TV caught up with him. Here's what they told us as one of the finest in 757 for football this year. Gave some time to Jack. Let's give it a listen.
All right, talking here with now CJ Frasier from Western Branch High School, who just made his commitment announcement. He's going to Naval Academy. Talk about your commitment decision.
I mean, it wasn't an easy process, but I really love Coach Newberry, Coach Green. They're all great people, great coaches, and they made me feel at home when I went for my visit, and I'm excited for the future and what it holds.
So before your announcement, you had a lot of people take the mic, talk about their stories, how they knew you, what a great person you are on and off the field. Talk about just the perseverance it took, because I even knew going into February, March, you didn't have anything, and it was kind of weird. If you have any advice to give to people out there who want to get offers and aren't getting much attention, to stay persevered, what do you have to tell them?
Well, the first thing I would say is definitely trust God, because God can do a lot of things. He can flip your life around in an instant. Trust God, keep your grades up. That's the most important thing, because if you're not academically eligible, you can't even get recruited by these coaches and by these colleges. So, and just persevere, fight, prove everyone wrong. The rewards you will reap are tremendous, and you'll be blessed. So, definitely keep God in your life, though. That's the main thing.
That's great stuff. So what stood out the most about going to take your visit to Navy as opposed to other schools? I know Air Force is a big one, Army, a couple other schools. What stood out about Navy?
The location. It's right in Annapolis, Maryland. The DMV. There's a lot to do around it. But just the cachet of the degree from the Naval Academy. That's not something that any school can give you. So, but definitely the location played a big role in everything too, being close to home.
Is it more comfortable going into your final season in high school where you finally got your offers, now you're committed? That's one less thing you got to worry about, now you just got to go out there and ball.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier now. Like I noticed once I started getting offers, I started noticing that I was playing a lot freely. We had a 707, I had 10 touchdowns, and I was just playing like myself. I wasn't worried about how I'm gonna perform. I was just being myself. But it definitely takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah. Nowadays in high school, you have a lot more of the transfer stuff. You have kids leaving for other schools in the city or whatever. You've had some kids at Western Branch do that, but what is it about Western Branch that made you want to stay loyal with Coach Cook and whoever else at the school?
The people were great. Coach Cook, he's a great coach. Of course, we had 2, 4 and 7 seasons, but I'd rather be playing with my guys and doing my thing, and we're all doing our thing, than go to another school where we might be winning everything, but I'm not with my guys. I'm not happy. So I just want to stay with the people I was with, that I came in with, and graduate with them, and I'll say that's it.
With the transfer portal in high school, obviously in college it's even crazier. Talk about how much harder it is to get seen by coaches now because of how crazy the transfer portal is.
It's definitely a lot harder. Like, I've had to send my film out to a lot of different coaches, and I've had Keith Burnell, who was here earlier. He sent my film out to a whole bunch of people, but the transfer portal has killed high school recruiting, and so I'm just tremendously blessed to have this opportunity, because the portal has made it nearly impossible for kids like me to get this opportunity. So.
Yeah. Final question for you, and I appreciate your time. Any words you want to say to maybe some Navy fans, Navy alumni, or anything to any Western Branch fans coming into your final season, what you have to offer for them all?
All I'm going to say is this season's going to be a good one, and for my Navy fans, beat Army.
There you go.
There you have it. That was CJ Frasier of Western Branch with our Jack Lowe on Cova Sports TV. He'll be one of the standouts to watch for the Bruins this year, and Coach Rashad Cook, as he's going to continue his academic and athletic journey at Navy. And injuries limited him to just 6 games played, Ed, but he still managed to make an impact with 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. Really a neat story of perseverance, grit, and character.
Yeah, one of the better athletes in the area. Interesting. First of all, he handled himself well in the interview, because when a kid tells me they're going to Army or Navy, any of the Armed Force Academies, it takes a special breed to do that, because of you have the commitment in some form after you're there while you're going to school there. So that's a tough pick. And this kid CJ seems to have his stuff in order to go to a place like Navy, who had a really good year last year. As he was talking, I looked up in my field still. I got it too now.
You got a copy. How about that?
Yeah. And I was looking up with some stuff about Navy and seeing what happened. Last year was one of their better years, in the last 5 or 6, first time they had a winning season since, I think, since 2019. So,
by the way, you went out and bought that? You didn't have it shipped to you for free for a change?
I put a request in for a free one. So if I get a free one, I'm going to give it away on the show if they send me the free one. But I went through Barnes and Noble. I saw it sitting there. I just had to grab it.
Shameless plug. They don't sponsor the show.
I went to this store that sells magazines.
Gotcha.
It wasn't what I just said. It was another one in the business.
You've already said it. You can't take it back now. So just power through. Power through.
I was looking at Navy in terms of who they're bringing in this year. They're bringing in 9 quarterbacks.
Really?
9.
Yeah, they won't play more than 2 or 3. So
no, I think it's maybe because some of them may have to be shipped out or something, or have to leave on a boat. I don't know, but you're not going to see that anywhere else. Maybe Army, but I don't see anybody else bringing in that many players at a certain position like that, like quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I could see maybe defensive line, someplace where you have a lot of offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, but 9 quarterbacks. That's interesting.
It is interesting. We've got more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk. It is Cova Sports TV, and we're getting closer and closer to the start of high school football season. So we'll be having wall-to-wall coverage for all of you out there as we break it down all across Virginia. But another quick timeout. Keep it tuned right here on your home for everything VA sports related, be it high school, college, or pro. It's 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in a phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cove Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
All right, and we're back here on 757 Sports Talk with the evil basketball coach, Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Here's a guy who's never evil. He is the new head football coach of the Tallwood Lions. You know him from his days in the 757. Once upon a time, played quarterback at Green Run, slinging it to Plaxico Burris, and then went on to Liberty. He's coached all over the place, won a couple of state championships in North Carolina. He'll tell us about. Also led Indian River to the Southeastern District title as well. We say hello to our friend and congrats, Glenwood Ferebee. Coach, you got purple on now. I've not seen you before in purple, but how's the new digs going for you?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited. Been at it for about 2 weeks now. I'm excited about some of the things that I've seen.
Well, tell us what brought you back to the 757, because you did a little bit of college coaching as well. You've been at Hampton. You were at Virginia Tech in a capacity with high school recruiting relations, if you will. And you led Vance High School, which will later be named Julius Chambers, to a couple of state titles. What brought you back to your home turf?
Just when the Tallwood job came available, I know over the years we always talked as coaches, being that Tallwood was an attractive job just based off of the area that it's in and the talent that it constantly held over the years. Even back in the 90s when I was going to school, Tallwood was always talent rich. So that was attractive to me to get back to here. Then I think that's probably the only job. This is the only job that I would have came back home for.
And Ed, the Lions will get their season underway. It's not that far off in the distance with game number 1 coming up on August 28th. Right out of the chute, he gets his alma mater green to run. The Stallions, defending region champs.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a special game, special for me anyway. So we're gonna be focused in, we're gonna be locked in, and hopefully we can come out with a shocking W.
Congrats to you, Glenn. That was what I was going to lead into. Was first of all, glad you're back in the area, and your first game against your alma mater. I know you got to be a little bit geeked up for that in terms of. I mean, I know as coaches we say, well, all games are important. No one is bigger than the other. We say that, but we also know behind the scenes, there's some games we get a little bit up for, that being your alma mater. But again, I don't think nothing to prove. When you had great success there the first time, and then you decided to move on, which as coaches we always like to do that. What got you to move to the Carolinas in terms of the football down there?
It was strange. Crazy part was my son lives in Georgia, so part of the reason was me trying to get closer to him when he was younger. So I had to apply for a few jobs. Never got any interviews down in Charlotte. Then I got a phone call one day about the Chambers job, and I didn't even really know about Vance, honestly, until they called me and asked me would I be interested in the job, being that we had came off a 13-1 season. So I did some research on the job, and the job looked very, very, very attractive. And I kind of felt like I could go down there and make some things happen. So I went on and took the job and came out of there with 3 state championships appearances back to back, and 2 of them back to back. So it was a pretty good move for me. It showed me a lot. Charlotte has some great football down there, so I learned some things that they do different there than we did here when I was here. So I'm looking forward to bringing some of the things that I've learned from down there, back home.
And that was going to be my next question. Compare football here in the 757, which we feel is among the best anywhere, with that Charlotte area, which I know is rich in talent.
The kids are bigger in Charlotte. I know when I first got there, I was looking at my team and I was like, man, we're huge. And when I mean huge, I'm not even saying offensive line wise, I'm saying skill guys. My free safety was 6'3", about 215. And as well as I know, that's a linebacker down here in the 757. Malik Creek had Trent Simpson on their team at that time. And he's playing with the Ravens now. And every linebacker on their team was his size. He's going to Clemson. So the kids are much bigger in Charlotte. Athlete-wise, we match up with them. But size-wise, they're much bigger. They're much bigger than we are here in the 757.
We're chatting with Glenwood Ferebee. He's the new head football coach of the Tallwood Lions. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube page and interact with us. August 28th is the kickoff game against his alma mater, Green Run, at Tallwood High School, as the Lions look to make some noise in year 1 under Coach Ferebee. And I know it's early to get into player personnel, Coach, and I'm sure we'll have some time to do that. Maybe give us a name or two. But I want to start off with names, your coaching staff. You brought in a very well-known, venerable coordinator, Vincent Pugh, to run the defense. And I think I might have seen, correct me if I'm wrong, also Terry T.J. Mitchell going to be coaching. Quarterback. Did I get that right? Or incorrect on that?
Yeah, Coach Pugh. The funny thing is, Coach Pugh was in the building, and I was walking by, and at first I didn't recognize him until he stopped me and talked to me. I said, Coach Pugh. So he's like, you don't even recognize me. I said, yeah, now I do. So he asked me, he said, how's everything going? And I said, everything's going pretty good. I said, everything's going with you. He was like, everything's pretty good. I said, you ready to come out of retirement? And he basically said that, he wanted to get back in, but he wanted to be the right situation. And he felt like me getting the job was the right situation for him to come out of retirement. So that was a big get for me. And it was a surprising get because I thought he was done coaching. So that was a big get. Terry Mitchell, I had talked to Terry a while ago about, coaching quarterbacks, and he was excited about coming on board. I got Devin Hunter on board as well. So that's another huge get for me. With his training background and his energy and things like that. I kept 2 guys off the staff. I got Damon McNair back in the fold, the old Tallwood quarterback. That he was the first graduating class at Tallwood, so I've gotten him back in the mold, and he coached at Lansdowne, as you well know, with Coach Beatty back in the day. So he has some championship pedigree himself. I got Brandon Allen from Grassfield and Deep Creek. The teams that he coached at Grassfield that made some deep playoff runs with Coach Ashbury. So he comes from a good pedigree. I think the biggest thing with me was getting guys that a mixture of veterans and a mixture of young guys. Some young guys that played at a high level, and guys that are going to be enthusiastic about doing the job, and also guys that can relate to the kids and give them, their history and their story of the things that they had to do in order for them to make it. So they kind of have somebody that they can look up to say, hey, what he's telling me is the right things to do to get to where because they've been there. So that was huge for me to be able to get those guys on the staff.
Ed?
And Coach, you get the job just recently. A lot of football programs are into it come January. Season's over, December, give the kids some time off, and then get back into the lifting and that, conditioning a little bit come January, February. Put their stuff in. Even some of the new hires will get hired probably before the school year is over. You don't have all that luxury. Now, you're a veteran, been successful everywhere you've been. Does that mean you do some things a little different? Not so much, I'm going to say shortcut, but how do you institute what you want now that in getting what I would consider getting the job late, even though regular practice haven't started yet?
Funny thing is, I got the Vance job at the same time. When I left and went to Charlotte, I got the Vance job the same exact time. I didn't get there until June. Not to say that, it's the same type of team, but the same approach. I'm going to take the same approach. I talked to the kids. I told them it's a late start. I told them we just want to get better each week. Starting last week, getting all the way through week 10. And once we get to the playoffs, if that's in our future, then, we'll take it one game at a time. So we're not looking at it as let's look at it and say, hey, let's get better right now. It's going to be a gradual get better type of deal. But the kids they've been working hard, man, for the past, for the 2 weeks that, I've been with them. They've been working their butts off, doing everything we asking of them without any complaining. And so that's the biggest thing. The buy-in is there. And that's half the battle when you taking over a program late and not having to deal with the struggles of getting the kids to buy in. So the buy-in is already there. So that's one hurdle that we didn't cross. So now it's more or less, training them in the way that we want them to play football. Not even the X's and O's type of deals, the fundamental part that we're focusing on right now. We're mixing in some X's and O's. But I think being a fundamentally sound team, you always give yourself a chance to win in any game.
Couple more minutes here with Glenwood Ferebee, head football coach with Tallwood Lions. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And Coach, you've coached a number of standouts over the years. You mentioned Devin Hunter, who's now on your coaching staff, was a key member of those Indian River teams. And you think of Lamarion James, who's looking to make an NFL roster, among others. I know it's early, but any couple of youngsters, it could be an underclassman, a senior or two, we should watch out for this fall for your Lions and what we should expect identity-wise. You were a guy that likes to sling it around, so I'm imagining you want to put the ball in the air if you've got the athletes to do it.
Yeah, I'm still learning some of the kids' names at this point, so I don't want to mess up anybody's names at this point. But we have a young football team, man, and that's a great thing. Got some standout ninth graders that been working out that have been surprising. I got a few rising 10th graders that look real good. And if we could keep those guys together, and we got some seniors that's out there leading as well. Have a tackle that's about 6'6". That's going to be real special. And he's a rising junior Joe. I don't want to butcher his last name, but his first name is Joe. He's going to be an impact player for us this year.
You can just call him Big Joe. He's that big, by the way.
Yeah, Big Joe. Yeah, Big Joe. He's been to some camps. He's done well. I done got some phone calls from some some of the colleges about him, and they're going to be watching for him and his development. So he's going to be one underclassman junior that's going to be a nice prospect for some of these Power 4 schools. And I got Jamari. I'm not going to butcher his last name, but he's a slot receiver / running back. He's a rising senior. He's going to be real good for us. Kid's last name Burst, played defensive back for him last year.
Burst.
Yeah. He's going to be a real good one as well. So those are just some of the guys that I remember the names right off my head. But it's a slew of guys that's out there. I just don't recall their name at this point because I'm still getting to know some of the kids. But it's a slew of guys out there that looks real good. We just got to develop their raw. We just got to develop them fundamentally. I think if we can do that in a short period of time, we give ourselves a chance.
We'll do what Hank Sawyer at Lake Taylor and the former Hampton Crabbers legendary coach Mike Smith did. Give them some nicknames. It'd be easier that way.
Oh, 100%. They're coming. Look, they're coming. They're coming.
Ed?
But, Devin Hunter, Lamarion James, Kevin Concepcion was one of my kids at Chambers. He was a ACC Rookie of the Year. Dalen Hollywood Smothers, starting running back at NC State this year. James Pierce. Funny thing about my kids, coach, when they go to school, they play, if that makes sense. So all my kids, played as freshmen for the most part. So that means they're being developed the way that they're supposed to, and that's what I talk about, being fundamentally developed when they can go off to college and play early. That's how you're doing a great job or a decent job as a high school football coach. Where
let me ask you this question, but I'm sure Ed can follow this up too. I know he always talks about the trophies. We always want to win championships as coaches, but when he sees your former players, he's got a number of them playing overseas, the Don Shaw Brights, the Shannon Evans, the Andre Jones. For you, Glenwood, I imagine that's something that thrills you as much, if not more, the joy and satisfaction you get watching these young kids do things on the big stage in college football. Now some of them getting to do it at the pro level.
Yes, 100%, man. That's what it's about. To give these kids chances to, better get better situations in their lives if their situation calls for that. But the growth of them, from young men to men at this point, it's great to see. I get a chance to go see the kids play, and they come back home. They come to see you, and I had an opportunity to go to my first NFL draft party this past year. So that was a great experience. So just looking forward to, doing the same thing at Tallwood, getting these kids developed where they can go off to school and play.
Should be a fantastic ride for Coach Ferebee and the Lions. Last one, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, my only thing is, Glenwood, to have you back is put that sucker in the air 30, 40 times a game. I'm all about passing. 3rd and 1, we're throwing it. 4th and inches from the goal. I'm tossing to the halfback. He's rolling. He's going to pitch it out to the tight end. Keep that stuff going because some of these doggone football coaches, it's 3 downs and a cloud of dust or whatever the heck they say. I'm tired of getting dusty. I want to see the ball in the air.
I got you, Coach. You know me. We're going to spin that thing around.
Hey, and before we let you run, I got to get this to you, too. Next week, we've got on Mike Beal, the new football coach at Grassfield, coming on. Like you, he put up some numbers back in his day in the beach playing for Chris Beatty at Salem. Who throws a football further nowadays, you or him?
I probably had to warm up get about 50 throws in to be able to get the rust off this arm. So he'll probably get me in the first couple.
Okay. He can get you now. You give it to him. All right. We'll see if he concurs next week. Well, hey, we look forward to documenting and chronicling what happens for you and the Lions here in 2025 and beyond. Thanks so much for the time today, and all the best for the rest of your weekend.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
You got
Good luck, Coach.
All right, now. Thank you.
That is the one and only Glenwood Ferebee back in the 757 as the head football coach of the Tallwood Lions in Virginia Beach. Should be exciting to watch what's in store for them. Ed's already gone on a limb and said they're going to be a factor sooner than later. All right, coming up next, we got a special guest with us. He is the VCW Commish George, Pantas, Ed's ready to ring the bell and talk some wrestling. Big event next week in Portsmouth at the Pavilion. It's all coming your way on Cova Sports TV. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual...
Why should you research fireworks before you buy them? To get the best bang for your buck.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. We've got a special guest with us. He is the commissioner. One night only again for the VCW Virginia Championship Wrestling Liberty Lotteries coming up. It returns one night only, Portsmouth Pavilion, a week from tonight, July the 19th. George Pantas with us. George, thank you for stopping by. Ed has been looking forward to this since the moment you agreed to come on. And last year, he actually was able to drag me out there, and he was a kid in a candy store. He really was.
Thank you. So excited to be here myself. Fan of you guys' program, and now to be on and to talk about my passion and Ed's passion. And hopefully we can convince you to see what it's all about and come out next Saturday and see us put on an amazing show.
Well, you guys did a great job with it last year. I went out to one of the VCW events. But before we dig into what's on deck next weekend for the fanatics, the ones that are maybe new to the sport, I want you to give a little bit about your background and tell the folks about how you got involved with this, because you, like Ed, have to have a big passion for the sport.
Yes, indeed. So I'm actually Greek. I was born in Greece, came to America when I was 10 years old, didn't speak a word of English. I still don't. I speak American. Ha ha. And I discovered it on TV, on the local wavy station, and didn't understand a word they were saying, but I knew it was exciting. I've always loved comic books, and it was the comic books come to life, these heroes, and was hooked immediately. I was a teenager at that time, and when I asked my father if I could go, his request was one: do good in school, and you're welcome to go. And so I made sure I had those great grades, and I started attending. Back then, for this area, professional wrestling was very popular. Plus, when you think about it, except for the Virginia Squires that we had for a while, they were the only athletes, sports, and now we call them sports entertainers that would come here on a regular basis. I want to add, every second Thursday they were at the Norfolk Scope. They started back at the old arena, which would be now for the fans listening, the back of the opera, and then eventually they went to the Scope, and then once a month they would come over to the Hampton Coliseum. So I started attending there. And then God is good every day, and twice on Sundays, the Nature Boy says, woo! I was fortunate enough to meet the promoter. I hear someone laughing back there. It's got to be Ed. I was fortunate enough to meet the promoter for that area, Joe Murnick. And Joe happened to be very good friends with the sports editor of the Daily Press, who we attended church together. Of course, grown man. Of course, again, I'm a teenager. But because Tony Anthony, the sports editor, happened to be there at the show that I attended, and Mr. Murnick, who normally he would have his sons, Carl and Elliot, come, he happened to be there that night. The two of them were very good friends. Tony asked Mr. Murnick, said, George is a friend of mine. Please take good care of him. And guys, that's when all the magic happened. Now we're talking, Matt, we're talking kayfabe years. We're talking when it was super secret. And of course, Ed knows what I'm talking about. And I stop and think about it sometimes, that here I am, a teenager on top of that, at a time when this was a secret society, yet because of that friendship, because of the respect that both Tony Anthony and Joe Murnick had for each other, each one accepted each other's word, if you will, that I was a nice young man. And I have, in my life later on, I became a history teacher. I've always loved history, and I've always loved cameras. I'm very much a frustrated director. And so I started with a regular 8mm camera, eventually went to silent, eventually went to Super 8 silent, and then eventually Super 8 sound. Oh my God. And I was, and that's because film was very expensive back then. We were immigrants. My father worked very hard at the breast up factory, and so money was tight. And so eventually I was able to get, like I said, to that Super 8 sound. And the recordings that I was able to get were literally sitting by the ring apron. And so I have the young Ric Flairs, the young Ricky Steamboats, Wahoo McDaniel, Blackjack Mulligan. We can go back to the era, Ivan Koloff, on and on and on and on. And again, God is good every day. The film happened to be preserved. And the biggest blessing was that I sold some of it, not all of it, to WWE about 11 years ago. And they have used it on a consistent basis. Any documentary that covers wrestlers, Roddy Piper, any of the wrestlers that came here to this area, they would actually find clips of what I filmed and then edit in telling the story. So documentaries, specials. I pinch myself every time I see it. And sometimes I'm aware of it because they're looking for something specific. Sometimes they put it on there, then I'm surprised myself. So that's a generic explanation. And then through the course of all that, I also became involved promoting and then got involved with Virginia Championship Wrestling. I hope that kind of answers the question.
Very cool. Very neat story, how you got involved with it. And Ed's got what? Tell us the hat you got on, Ed, because Lord of mercy, it's got to be.
With George, George, I'm excited. I'm trying to be reserved. I know we got time restraints and whatever. We do have you on for 2 segments.
Oh, my gosh.
The TV going on right now, and then we
will. Like Hogan. Is that a Hulk Hogan hat?
Yeah, I got Hulk Hogan. And George, check this out, George. I got two championship belts. I'm not defending at the VCW event. They didn't need me, so I'm just going to keep my belts. And this knucklehead over here wants to try to take one of my belts. So I told him maybe George will set us up down the road for big money. And I can pin him probably in 1, 2, 3, George, real easy. But I'm not giving up these belts. I've earned these doggone things, and I'm going to keep them 9 years running.
I'm going to come back as a one-time commissioner. Maybe I can do a triple threat match. All 3 of us in the ring.
Oh,
Because those belts, I want to shot at those belts.
Because what now? I'm going to stay in kayfabe. It would probably be set up where George would win it because he's the biggest name of all three of us and the most important to wrestling itself. So I already know how that would work out. But boy, if I could give one smackaroo to this guy over here, it would be great.
I don't know. I just met Matt, and he's such an amazing guy.
Thank you.
But very excited. That's awesome.
Yeah, don't get his head too big. But George, in all seriousness, we got the Lethal Lottery coming up, Virginia Championship Wrestling. That's going to be next Saturday. And it's interesting. First time ever, Portsmouth Pavilion. Talk to us a little bit about the Lethal Lottery.
Yes, sir. So this is a huge event for us. Normally, our home base is over at the Masonic Temple in Norfolk, where we're based out of. But we also have traveled to Northern Virginia. We've done shows over at the Kroc Center, and then we also do school fundraisers for various high schools. One was Hampton High School, my alma mater, and so we are broadening ourselves. We are the premier Virginia wrestling organization, and so we decided to take this leap of faith and put this amazing show on next Saturday, July the 19th, at the Portsmouth Pavilion. We are super excited. The Liberty Lottery is and by the way, I do want to say that this is our version of WrestleMania. It's our biggest show of the year. We bring in big names that fans will see and notice, and we do that specifically for fans that are maybe new and may not be familiar with what Virginia Championship Wrestling is. But if they hear, oh my God, are you kidding me? The Rock and Roll Express is going to be there, which they are. Oh my God, AW Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal is going to be there, which he is. Oh my God, Paul London, WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Tag Team Champion, is going to be there. Yes, he is. And they're not only going to be there signing autographs and taking pictures, they're going to actually compete in a Legends match, the Rock and Roll Express versus Paul and Jay. And then then the fans that are fans of theirs come to see them. They see our product. The prayer and the hope is they fall in love with it. And then that's how we generate continual interest in fans. And we've been very blessed with that formula. And so the little Liberty Lottery is sort of like the WWE Royal Rumble in that wrestlers come in one at a time. But the difference from WWE is legitimately the fans pick the order of the entrance. We have a hat or container, and then we go to different fans. They'll pick out a name. So all the wrestlers have to be ready in the back to come out right away because they do not have any idea when they're going to come out. The only one that has an advantage is one of our amazing wrestlers, the Greek god Papadon. He was in a match last month, and the prize was whoever won would come in as number 20 because we have 20 wrestlers in the lottery. And so that's obviously a huge advantage for him because all the others will be in there beating the you-know-what out of each other, and he can come in rested, and he can be a sneaky guy. And, of course, his desire is to win because if he wins, then he gets to pick and go after any belt of his choice, whether it's the heavyweight belt, the Liberty title, tag team title. And so it's a big incentive for all the wrestlers in there to come out on top. And the only way you come out on top, you don't go over the top rope. If you go over the top rope and your feet touch the ground, then you are eliminated. And then, of course, we have some other matches that we can talk about.
Fantastic.
So obviously it's a lot of, it's going to be a lot of action. It's everybody in there. It mimics what they do in WrestleMania, as you said. Virginia Championship Wrestling. For those out there not sure, it's not as grandiose as WWE and all that, and AEW, but it has its following. Those guys and ladies are performing hard, and you do at times sometimes see those people move on up, so to speak. They're taken by WWE or some of the big boys in terms of, hey, we like what you do. We're going to develop you further and whatever. So it can happen. But the action, and I'll say this, I've been to both events, VCW, WWE. the VCW people put out wrestlers in that. I think a little bit more where the WWE show, the VCW guys really go at it like, hey, they're putting it on the line, trying to be, entertainment in terms of people's money. I know pro wrestling gets this little he from people and whatever. It's fake. It's whatever. But if you understand that and still enjoy it, you get your money's worth.
Very much so. First of all, thank you for the huge compliment. For the fans listening that are new to independent wrestling, we would compare ourselves to the local hockey team, to the local baseball team. Okay, the wrestlers have to learn their craft somewhere, and they learn it at independent shows all over the United States. And yes, indeed, we have had some amazing success. A lot of our talent has done what is known in the business as as enhancement talent. Well, they go on and they'll be security or they'll be involved in one of the storylines. We've had many of our wrestlers do that, not only with WWE, but also with AEW when they come here locally, or sometimes they'll travel around the area. Because one of the things that I pride myself in doing, especially when I was active as the commissioner, I would travel throughout the area to find the best young, hungry talent and then bring them down to VCW. So it's always happening and exciting. And the big name there's two names I like to brag real quick since you went there, Ed. One is Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows was our heavyweight champion when WWE signed him, and he went up there. And of course, went on to wrestle in New Japan with CM Punk, the whole Straight Edge Society. Just an amazing wrestling human being. And then when he was released the first time, he actually came back to VCW, and we did an angle, as it's called in the business, of where I never lost my title. I want my title back. He jumped at that time VCW heavyweight champion Phil Brown, who, by the way, will be in the lottery this year, locally from Hampton High School, and took the belt and ran away with it, if you will. But eventually I brought him back, and it was one of those lotteries that we had in the past, because this is our 18th annual lottery, that the match happened, and Phil Brown eventually was able to get his belt back. And so, and then the biggest name that I love bragging about is Brent. Now, for us, when he worked under his real name of Blake Chadwick. He was our announcer, our commentator, interviewer in the back. He's now, I'm proud to say, he's going on his second year. He goes under the name Blake Howard, as we most of us know. When they're signed by WWE, they change their names for various reasons. And so Blake has been announcing, commentating for NXT Level Up, NXT Main Event, and Main Event is taped after, or rather before, Monday Night Raw, and then they air it on CW and various other channels. And he's had co-hosts from the Road Dogg, for JBL, the Booker T, it goes on and on. So to see Blake Howard become this major WWE superstar, I'm going to say, is just, I have goosebumps right now just mentioning it. So this is why, fans listening, it's important to support independent wrestling anywhere. We'd love for you, if you live in this area, to come and support us. It's because you will see young talent, and then, and I make sure that they come out, sign autographs, take pictures, and then down the line, you'll see them as stars on the major promotions. So support independent wrestling wherever you are. Support us by going to Ticketmaster and type in VCW Lottery, and the tickets will come up. We only have general admission left because we've been sold for the longest time, ringside, front row. And so it's a big venue, so you will find seats. And, of course, you can also purchase them at the door. And we have some other ladies' matches. We have heavyweight titles. It's three-way matches. It's tag team for the for the VCW title. Very, very, as you can tell, I'm very, very excited. And the fact that I come back as a one-time only VCW commissioner. That was my job for about 10, 12 years. I retired back in 2023, dealing with health issues. I couldn't perform to the level that I held myself up to. And so now I was able to make this happen. Honestly, I just want to sit back and enjoy the show. But if there's some shenanigans going on, then my sleeves are rolled up, the tie is loose, and I'm ready to lay down the law.
Well, if Ed's there and he heckled people last year at the VCW event, I'm sure there will be some type of shenanigans. It should be a fun time. Stick around. We've got more with the VCW Commissioner, George Pantas, here. Liberty Lottery, one night only. He's the commish, back in form. Portsmouth Pavilion, Saturday, July 19th. I know Ed's got some more questions, including some from our viewers as well. Keep it tuned. It's Cova Sports TV, and we'll be back in just a moment after this quick timeout.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
All right, it's summertime. That means school's out. And it got me to wondering, where do math teachers go on vacation? Times Square.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here with the Virginia Championship Wrestling Commissioner. One night only at the Portsmouth Pavilion on July the 19th. That is George Pantas, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. One of our viewers out there, George, Derek Fulgham, says he's ready to come out of retirement and get in the ring. And I got to show you this picture because he's a big wrestling fan just like Ed is. And this is Derek, it looks like from years ago. Derek out there officiating for one of the matches. So Derek is looking forward to this event just like Ed is as well coming up next week. So
yes, I remember Derek. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have it as he is looking forward to that. Yeah. So, but we continue on with you here, George. And again, you mentioned it before we went to break about the tickets, Saturday, July 19th, Ticketmaster, the way to go. Ringside seats not available, but they can still get tickets. What are we looking at as far as just the whole rundown, if you can, as far as the event time and what they should look forward to?
Yes. Thank you for going there. So the doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7:30. The wrestlers will be out signing autographs, taking pictures. Fans can pre-order going to our VCWProWrestling.com, and they can pre-order autographs and photos taken with the Rock and Roll Express and also with Jay Lethal. Paul London will be doing the same on site, and so that would be the big one to fight, not have to fight the lines, if you will, and have it ready by going on there and pre-ordering. Now, as far as the matches themselves, we have. I'm going to have to put my glasses on here so I can read it a lot easier. When we have a total of 7 matches, and our local Funny Bone comedian, who's actually quite famous in his own world of comedy. He's going to be hosting it. His name is Tim Louis. He's also part of VCW and has the Louis Lounge. So he's going to host the whole show. And then we talked about the Liberty Lottery already. And we also have the VCW Heavyweight Championship on the line. The current champion, Pantas, this is like a triple threat match for the wrestling fans. Is going to go against Bohr, former VCW Heavyweight Champion, and Rex Lawless. Rex Lawless is a huge monster, as Booker T says, and he has not been a VCW Heavyweight Champion yet, but is hungry to get that title. And he's been destroying all of the opponents that we've put up against him. All three have interfered in each other's matches. So that's why it was decided, let's put them all in there together and let them go out there and entertain the fans with some amazing, hard-hitting, big guys action. We also have a tag team match. We have, for the VCW tag team titles, we have the current champions, the Delinquents, going against Nice and Smooth. We have a VCW Liberty Championship match. Commander King, the champion, is going against Parker Lee. And speaking of the Liberty Championship belt, at one time, Paul London, which we talked about earlier, Paul London was our VCW Liberty champion. Paul has a long history working for VCW. So I look forward to seeing Paul and catching up with him again. We also have, now this one I can't wait. Actually, I'm going to leave that for last. Let me talk about, we have a special 3-way women's match. Haina Hira, Joya Blake, and Nair Robles, who's debuting for us in VCW. And this is sponsored by Title Match Network. They will be wrestling, and fans always ask us for female action, and we don't want to just put anybody up there. So we work hard to find amazing talent that we can bring in. And these young ladies, although full disclosure, I'm not familiar with them because, again, I've been out for about a year and a half. I've been told that they are amazing. Now, the match, I'm looking forward to all the matches, but the one that I can't wait is a Portsmouth street fight anywhere in the city of Portsmouth. It is Brandon Scott, who has been actually at one time the longest VCW heavyweight champion. He's wrestling against the Reason, who the Reason is like the henchman, if you will, of the director for VCW, Jerry Stefaniches. Jerry has been a thorn in my side for 10, 12 years, probably longer. I wound up losing my job as the commissioner because of him. Had to get in the ring and wrestle. You see these big muscles over here, right? Yeah. Hey, get up. Get in the ring and wrestle with. Now, we did it as a 6-man tag because, needless to say, neither one of us are wrestlers. But we had our tag team champions at that time and former, so we did a 6-man tag. And at the end, eventually, I got my job back. But the point of that story is he's been a thorn in my side. And the director wants the Reason to destroy, to beat up and leave as terrible as possible Brandon Scott, because he feels that Brandon Scott has disrespected him. And so I'm gonna grab that chair and sit right there at ringside, because I want Brandon to just beat him from one side of the ring to the other, take it outside in the streets. I'll send the cameras to follow them. I really want Jerry to get his upcomings, because in the past he's gotten over me a couple of times, and I want to see this match up close and personal.
I like that.
And so that's the entire card. Plus, we always have surprises.
Well, nice. First of all, I forgot to say this at the top. George has been gracious enough to donate 2 tickets, a 2-pack, to a listener.
Okay.
For the show.
All right.
For the show. And he even dug into his pocket, something this guy would never do, to get us, Matt and I, tickets to come in. Of course, ringside sold out, which we understood. But we're coming in, and I told George, if you need any help, I don't know how much this guy would help, but I'm there to help you. We got to go after this dastardly do-hard Jerry dude. We'll take care of him for you, whatever needs to be done. And eventually, I would hope that Matt and I will get a chance. Maybe you can work your magic down the road. We can do maybe like a live commentary, a podcast at one of these shows. Talk to a wrestler after they win, something going on, something a little bit different that we can. If you can work your magic for that somewhere down the road.
We can definitely make that happen. Yes, indeed. Yes, that would be
great.
awesome, by the way. Thank you for making that offer.
And then at some point in time, once I get a little training, I want to referee a women's match. So I can tell them, break the hold. Hold on, you can't do that. Hold on, let me pat you down. Make sure you got no foreign objects. I would love to do that.
And you said the key word. In all seriousness, training.
Yes.
Everything that we do out there, you have to go to a professional wrestling school and learn your craft. Just like you can't walk out on a football field or on a basketball court and expect to be put into the game, the same thing is true with professional wrestling. And sadly, people have that impression. And no, you have to be trained professionally to make sure you don't hurt yourself, to make sure as much as you try to put punishment on your competitor, you don't want to really destroy the guy. We all have to make a living at this. So training is important. When I got into the ring to wrestle, and I wrestled twice, I had to go to wrestling school. I had to learn some of the holds. I had to learn how to take bumps. And I'll never forget the first time I was picked up and thrown down. They were saying to me, George, tuck your head when we throw you down. Okay, they threw me down. I did not tuck my head in. It hit the canvas, and people think there's springs and crazy stuff. No, it's plywood. It's a thin layer of foam, very thin, and then the canvas. And so I hit my head right on that board, and I was seeing stars. I had to time out, guys, time out. So yes, we learn our craft before we can perform it, and that's the other thing why we work hard to find talent that is seasoned and almost ready to go to that next level, and we give them the opportunity to wrestle and entertain our fans.
Well, George, and I know Matt wants to jump in here too, but I just want to play off of that once real quick. I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. Yes, we know wrestling is scripted. I will not say fake, because my first inkling in realism in wrestling, our wrestling coach at Lock Haven University, and he was one of my professors, Ken Cox, had a lot of former guys from his other schools that he got become pro wrestlers. So they happened to be in the Lock Haven area one time, and we all got on our wrestling class, we got tickets to go. Now we had to write a story and all this and whatever. But I got a chance to go into the ring before everybody was coming around, and I just wanted to kind of see what it was like. So I said, I always saw people running the ropes. I mean, come on, you run the ropes, you bounce off, feels good. So I gave a run, hit the rope, almost knocked myself out. The rope almost knocked me out. It's not just hit the rope. I hit that sucker, came flying back. I don't know where I ended up, but I flipped outside of the ring on the other end, and people around there were laughing. And I kind of got up like you. I was like, oh my, what the heck? Did somebody hit me? And I'm thinking, I'm just running the ropes. I've seen it. I've seen the guys do it. It's nothing. Well, let me tell you this. You can get hurt in wrestling just messing around. So it is kind of scripted. It is entertainment, because if they really went at it, somebody would get killed. Emotion would start playing a role. So if you understand what it's about, and then you understand athleticism, if you understand storytelling, because to me, it's my story. People watch shows, realities for stories. That's what I do with wrestling. That's why when Matt saw me at the wrestling match, I was screaming my head off, acting like crazy. He even said, he goes, man, if your players and people who know you can see what you're like at a wrestling show, you're two different people. I'm into it. Okay, I was kayfabe. That's one of the words we use. I'm yelling at guys. I worked the guy for wearing. I said, man, you can't wear your wife's underwear as your wrestling tights. What are you doing? And he turned around and looked at me and said, I got a joke on you. These are your wife's. I said, that's how dumb. So, and everybody started laughing around us. I understand what's going on, but I'm just playing it, being respectful. But throw it in there. But I just want to get that point across to the people listening or thinking, wrestling, come on. It is a sport because of what those people do in the ring. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't even run the doggone rope, let alone put a move on or jump off the top rope or whatever. So in that sense, it is real. And as we've always been told, and our professor told us, don't ever go to one of the wrestlers and say, hey, this stuff is fake, isn't it? Because they're going to show you a real move. And he was very serious about that. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know Matt wanted to throw a couple things in.
Well, George, I was going to say I was waiting for one of Hacksaw Jim Duggan's cousins to hit Ed with a 2x4 as much as he was heckling some of those wrestlers. So
yeah. Oh, and we actually had Hacksaw at one of our shows.
Did you? Okay.
Ric Flair, Roddy Piper. I was fortunate enough to actually be in a Roddy Piper's pit. He saved me. Those are stories for another time. Maybe I can come back and share some of my amazing stories.
Well, I do want you, George, because I know our time is limited.
We got a question from a viewer, don't we? Yet I think we said.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Matt. Viewers, in terms of winning those 2 tickets, it's a 2-pack. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're not going to separate them. It's a 2-pack. You have to chime in, and then we'll figure a way out who's going to get them, or maybe George will just give us a name at the end, and
we might do a trivia or something. Yeah, we can figure something out. Yep.
Right, we'll get those tickets out, and then what will happen is we'll get your information to George. George will put it at will call, like where our tickets will be, and then that person can go there and get those 2 tickets. So I just want to make sure people know that. But I did want to, before Matt throws in George, a local guy who made it big until a very unfortunate accident, Magnum TA, Terry Ellen, tell us.
Yes, Magnum TA, right here from Chesapeake, Virginia. Very, very dear friend of mine. I was very close with his parents, and he was destined to become the heavyweight, the NWA heavyweight title, but tragically, coming home from one of the shows, crazy rain, and his car wrapped around a tree. He was told that he would never, ever, ever walk again, let alone wrestle again. He was a quadriplegic. I can't say the word right, basically from the neck down. But Terry never gave up. There's some great documentaries out there about Terry's life that I highly recommend. Dark Side of the Ring did one just recently. And actually, when we brought Terry to VCW, they had their cameras there, and yours truly is in it, and showing how the fans still love Terry. So I highly recommend seeing that episode. And then High Spots, which is a very famous wrestling company, they did a documentary on him as well. So, but I want to share this, and this is the first time I'm sharing this story on any platform. So this is a scoop for you guys. When Terry worked very, very, very hard to bring himself back so he can walk. He has a special equipment machine that he sits on to maneuver everyday things, and I think it's the left arm is the one that's pretty much useless. But except for that, he became, when he came back, he became a contributor as a commentator in wrestling. He owns his own businesses, cell towers. Speaking of coming back, I was actually there at the Baltimore Cup, at the Jim Crockett Cup in Baltimore, when I talk about tears. When he came out for the first time after he was able to get himself back to walking, Nikita is hugging him, Dustin is hugging him. There was not a dry eye in the house. But the scoop that I want to give you is when he finally pushed himself and took the first steps, he called his mother. Now this is his mother, Marion. And both parents obviously have passed away. God rest both of their souls. So when I was talking with Marion, she says, George, you're not going to believe what Terry told him and what I said back. He called me the other day. I said, oh, what happened? What happened? She said, well, he made his first steps. And when he made his first steps at the rehab place, he called me and said, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I made my very first steps while walking. And I said to him, well, you better have called. Oh, and I want you to be the first to hear it. And she said, well, you better have called me. I was the first to see you walk when you were a baby. So thank you for telling me now that you're walking as well. So an amazing story of perseverance, of never giving up on yourself, and someone that was definitely destined for greatness. And to see him perform in the ring, oh my God! Just they called him Magnum TA out of back when Magnum PI was very popular. And here's a little trivia. You were talking about trivia earlier, Matt. Yeah. The person who gave him that nickname, because at that time Terry looked like Tom Selleck, the curly hair, the thick mustache. It was the boss himself, Andre the Giant. Oh, and wow. He looked at Terry and he said, "Hey, boss," the people that he liked, he called boss. "Hey, boss, you look like that guy on TV, Magnum PI. You should call yourself Magnum TA." And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow. How about that? That's a neat little story.
Thank you. And thank you for asking that question, Ed, about local talent that moved on, because we also have a special guest at the Liberty Lottery on July the 19th, and that is Mark Fleming. Now, Mark Fleming worked for Jim Crockett Promotions for many years. He's the protege, I don't know if I'm saying the word right. He learned under Lou Thez, 5-6-time NWA heavyweight champion Lou Thez, trained him. He went over, and the Andersons. He's wrestled in Japan. He wrestled for us in VCW back in the day. A couple of years ago, he managed Brandon Scott, the one that's going up against the Reason. And so Mark, although never made it to the top tier level, definitely wrestled all the greats, and he will be there signing autographs, taking pictures, answering fans' questions. So fans who will come there, make sure you swing by and talk to Mark. He's always excited about talking about that. And he also wrote a book about his autobiography and in the business and all the famous wrestlers that he's worked with. And I'm not sure if he's going to have the books there, but I'm sure you can talk to him about ordering them from him.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, George, we thank you so much for coming on the program today. I'm sure this will not be the last, even though it is the first time you've come on with us. And we thank you for allowing us to give some fans up there an opportunity to check out the wrestling with the tickets. Again, VCW, big event coming to the Portsmouth Pavilion Saturday, July the 19th. Ticketmaster, get your tickets. You should be there, and you will see Ed Young maybe running around the ring before it all starts, high-fiving folks, heckling folks. He might have a foam finger pointing at people. You don't know what you'll see when he shows up. So should be lots of fun.
Hey, George, if you get a chance, I know you're going to be busy. You're the commissioner, and I know you got some stuff up your sleeve. You won't really divulge it or what you're going to do, but maybe you can get – I'm going to drag this knucklehead there, maybe get us backstage just to meet a couple wrestlers, get a couple pictures if you could do it, because you're the commissioner. Because I'm going to tell everybody my new best friend is the commissioner, and lay off of me before I put the smack down on you.
That's right. And yes, definitely. As you guys, now Ed, of course, knows the wrestlers, but Matt, as you're watching the show, if you see like, man, that guy's really great, I'd love to get a picture of, or even get him on your show. Yes, I can make that happen. Yes, I can make that happen. Yes.
Well, you can check it out. Again, the website again is VCWProWrestling.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there you can get more information, and especially pre-ordering the autographs and photo ops. And then, of course, Ticketmaster, type in VCW Lottery, and it'll pop up immediately. And we look forward. And please stop me when you come there, fans. I love talking to all the fans. Please stop me so we can say hello, take pictures, and everything else. I'm so excited about being back.
Absolutely. Tell them you saw George on our show, and follow them on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, the X, and the YouTube as well. Thank you, George. We look forward to seeing you next weekend, and we'll talk again down the road.
Thank you. Let's do one more thing real quick, and that is you said, Ed, you said about a pair of tickets. Let's make that 2 pair of tickets. So maybe pick two different winners, each one of them getting 2 pairs of each tickets so they can go there with a friend.
All right. So follow us on Cova Sports TV and Facebook. We'll have the info for the contest with trivia or how they can get them. Maybe Ed will pick a pair and I'll pick a pair. How about that?
We'll do that. We'll give them a little trivia, and George, we'll let you know. And even though we got to move on in there, you're welcome to stay linked in and listen to the rest of the show, whatever. But we're going to see you next Saturday, and we're going to see you on here again in the future as we talk about what happened at the Liberty Lottery and what's coming up in the future. So you're part of our show now forever.
Amen. Thank you so much. Big honor for me. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, George.
See
That
you
is
next
the one and
Saturday.
only George Pantas, the commissioner for VCW. We thank him for tuning in. Coming up next, we've got Mr. Tennis in Hampton Roads himself. Sonny Dearth is going to join us to chat some Wimbledon and more. We've taken you all around the sports scope today. A little bit of baseball, always a little bit of football with football recruiting. You got Glenwood Ferebee with high school football. You got George Pantas with some VCW wrestling coming next weekend. And now we got the tennis. Ed's going to squeeze in some basketball before it's all said and done. Trust me, folks.
Oh, yeah, that's a definite. We saved the best. No disrespect, Sonny and George. Save the best for last.
It's all coming your way on Cova Sports TV. Stick around. More to come.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
I'm Dr. Mark Cardelia, orthopedic surgeon and surgical director of the CHKD Sports Medicine Program. We see a lot of knee injuries in student athletes these days, and many of these are ACL tears. Parents often ask how to know when a knee injury may be serious. The most obvious symptom is severe pain or swelling in the knee joint. Your child may have heard a pop when the injury occurred. Look for signs they can't put weight on the knee around 48 hours after the injury, or if the knee feels unstable or wobbly. Those are all signs you should see a CHKD sports medicine specialist. Our sports medicine physicians, surgeons, athletic trainers, and physical therapists understand the needs of growing athletes and tailor treatment to fit each child's age and level of activity. Our goal is to accurately diagnose the problem in a timely fashion and provide the treatment that will ensure a safe return to activity. Kids want to play, and we want to help them get back in the game. To learn more, visit chkd.org. Sports medicine at CHKD. We're more than a hospital.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on up, We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
Okay. We got another one for you. It's not December yet, but we want to know, what do you call a poor Santa Claus? St. Nicholas.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
All right, we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel on Cova Sports TV and interact wherever you are tuning in, be it Facebook, IG, Twitter, X, and also now available on the TV side of things with Cox Communications and Your Review 3 times a week. We are delighted to be joined by a special guest. You see with Virginia Media, you read his work from time to time. Virginian Pilot, Daily Press. Give him a follow on the Twitter or the X as well. And that is our buddy Sonny Dearth, who, again, you can follow on the Twitter or the X, as people now call it, at S. Dearth. How are you, my friend? This is always a fun weekend. It's Wimbledon. We love having you on to talk some tennis.
Thanks so much, man. Excellent. Hey, hang on a second. I'm going to grab some headphones so I can hear you a little better.
No, you're good, Sonny. While you do that, we will get you recalibrated. By the way, we are going to give away some tickets here in a little bit later on for the VCW wrestling show next weekend, too. And I'm sure Sonny will fill us in, Ed, a little bit here on the local scene as far as the tennis goes. But I want to start with him. We've got right now, as we speak with you, Anisimova and Swiatek in the Wimbledon women's final. Swiatek's up 5-love here in the first set. My first question for you, Sonny, on the women's side, before I flip it to the men, and Ed will chime in here too, because I'm absolutely riveted by the final tomorrow coming up with Alcaraz and Sinner on the men's side. But are you surprised Sabalenka didn't make it through? Because she was my pick at the start of the tournament. She didn't quite get there. She's had some ups and downs. We know she's capable of greatness, though.
Yeah, definitely Aryna Sabalenka would have been a logical pick. The only thing she really lacks right now is a history of grass court success. She certainly has the talent and the skill and especially the power to do so. But the margins between those top players are razor thin, and she just couldn't quite get it done against Amanda Anisimova. Props off to her, though she's had a rough start today against Iga Swiatek. But great to see Amanda coming back. She's now better than ever after a mental health break.
Yeah, for sure. And, a lot's been made of the lack of success from the American side with, not having someone, I think, win a major final since you got to go back to like Andy Roddick in 2003, Sonny. But, I thought yesterday's 2 semifinals were pretty interesting. Certainly Novak Djokovic not at full strength, and Jannik Sinner took advantage with his power and his skills on the court. But Taylor Fritz, the American, I thought he pushed Alcaraz way better than most people thought, myself included. So I feel like certainly the talk is these two players are so dominant right now in Sinner and Alcaraz. It's reminiscent of the dominance of the big three with Djokovic, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal. But I feel like there are some players that are on the come up in years to come that might push them, or do you feel like not happening whatsoever?
Yeah, no question. Fritz is probably the best American hope to win a major at this point on the men's side. He sometimes gets a little too erratic at the key stages, but he's getting there. It's hard to do it until you actually do. It takes, you almost have to have you have to almost fool yourself into thinking, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, because Alcaraz and Sinner have been very tough to crack in the last couple of years. Yet again, it'll be a major final against each other. And gosh, it can only, is there any way it could be any more riveting than Roland Garros was? That match looked over. It looked like Jannik Sinner had it. And then back comes Carlitos. What great shots under pressure. And given that match was around 5 hours, I was amazed at how well they were playing in the final set, especially Carlos, coming from 2 sets down.
Well, I'm going to jump on here before I let Ed jump in now here. Last one for me before Ed comes on here with you, Sonny, is that I feel like this is the best rivalry going right now in sports. Certainly you can talk about Yankees, Red Sox, which Ed will talk about, Carolina, Duke, Ohio State, Michigan. But right now with the way these two guys are playing, Alcaraz and Sinner, I think, especially if Sinner wins tomorrow, which I give him a better shot than some do, I think it's as great a rivalry as we got, Sonny. I mean, that last match you just hit on it in French Open was fantastic. And if this goes a 5-setter, tie-break situation, I mean, I think people will be glued to it and into it because of what just happened recently. What about you? Is it as good a rivalry as we got in sports potentially?
Yeah. In terms of an individual sport, this is probably the best one going. Yeah. It's just is Carlos in Yannick's head, because that's 5 times in a row now. And so even if Sinner gets ahead tomorrow, he's going to be thinking, can I get through this? Can I get through this? That's something he has to conquer to get back to where he feels like he's fully the best player in the world.
Talking with Sonny Dearth. He's Mr. Tennis in Hampton Roads. Read his work, Virginia Pilot, Daily Press, Virginia Media. Give him a follow on the X2 at sdearth here on 757 Sports Talk, as Swiatek is cruising right now against Anisimova in the women's Wimbledon final. And coming up on Sunday, it is Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, a 1-2 showdown, Ed.
Yeah, big change this year. It'll be later than usual, 11 a.m. Eastern. They're going to have the women's doubles at 8. It's for years, it's always been at 9 a.m. Eastern. And in fact, there was a movie about the Wimbledon finals, and its title was At 2 p.m. Precisely. And London is 5 hours ahead of us. They literally would come on the court at 2 p.m. London time precisely.
That just means for folks like you and me, Sonny, you can get a little round of tennis in. I can get a walk in. Ed'll just be sleeping in until the match starts. That's
well, it'll be worth a watch. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
For sure, Ed.
Well, yeah, probably. I got to get my beauty rest, Sonny. I got to get my beauty rest. When you get old like me, you got to get as much beauty rest as you can.
You're young, yeah. We're young at heart, man. You know it.
But Sonny, my thing with the wrestling, with the tennis, that's my girl, and her sister have stepped aside, so to speak, with the Williams girls. I've kind of lost some interest, especially on the women's side. The men still captivate me in terms of some of the names, but it seems like on the women's side, ever since the Williams girls have gone, it's like a mad rush for top notch. And I'm probably really missing the boat on this, but is that somewhat true? You sense that from people who talk to you about tennis in terms of the ladies' side? I think the men's side still has those, premier names.
You haven't embraced Coco Gauff?
Right. I don't think there's anybody as adored or as hated in some quarters as Serena Williams was. There's no one quite with that, that captivating personality either way. There are a lot.
Oh, I think we lost you for a second here, Sonny. Hang tight. I think you cut out on us. We'll try if we can get him reconnected here. Hang tight. We lost Sonny's connection here on Cova Sports TV. He was talking about the women's game and your question there, Ed. But so just you're not captivated by Coco Gauff? I think a lot of people are around.
Well, he's probably my new number one favorite on the women's side. We do have an American in the final right now as we speak, but I understand she's losing.
Yep, she's down 6-12. We'll see if we can get Sonny reconnected. He might have locked up here his phone. Let's see if we got Sonny. We got you back here. Let's see. Nope, I don't think we have him back.
As close as he was, maybe he ate it.
Oh, stop that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, that you're not into it as much as since the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus, have left, but I still think there's a lot of buzz. Listen to people yesterday; they were really into it with what the Americans doing here against Swiatek. Oh, we've got you back, Sonny. Sorry about that. We lost.
Oh, nice. Yeah, what I was saying was Coco Gauff, is a lot. To me, a lot nicer, a lot more mellow. Not nowhere nearly as divisive as somebody like Serena could be. But Serena was just, she really drove people's emotions. She was so tough and she was so fierce on the court. Coco is a very fierce competitor, but she's just, a smiling, confident, and very mature girl off the court.
For sure. Does center have to win tomorrow, Sonny, for this rivalry or the men's matchups? Put it this way: Nadal, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, Federer. Those were titanic showdowns. Do you feel like if Alcaraz beats him again, it loses some steam? Does the sport get helped by one outcome or the other? What's your view of it?
That's a really good question. Carlos, I think, is more popular, and each of them are probably going to have, times when they beat the other consistently. But I mean, those guys seem so evenly matched. But no, I think it'll be fine either way, whoever wins, because if Carlos wins, then it's like, can anybody knock him off at Flushing Meadows? And if Sinner wins, well, then the rivalry's really on, because you will have them going back and forth in the last two majors. Either way, it's a pretty compelling thing, I think.
You got a prediction for us on who takes it and how many sets?
Alcaraz in 4.
Alcaraz in 4, really? Okay, Ed's nodding his head. He's in agreement. I guess I'm the lone outlier. I'm going on a limb here picking Sinner in 5. I've got tons of respect for Alcaraz's game, and maybe I'm overreacting to just how easily Sinner dispatched a less than 100% Djokovic, whereas Fritz was able to push Alcaraz better, and maybe that's more of a positive nod to Fritz. But I just feel like it's time for Sinner. He let him off the hook last time, and I think that motivation plus other things, Sonny, I feel like people are making more of what happened in the Dimitrov match, where he got a break. Dimitrov had to retire because of the injury, but I think they keep using it as, well, he wouldn't be here if not for that, and I think that's given him that little extra nudge, plus the fact he lost to him last go-around at the French.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I really felt bad for Grigor Dimitrov. He was having the time of his life, really. He's had such a productive career, though he's never won a major. I even have.
We lost you again here, Sonny. I think we might have had a connection issue. We'll see if we can get Sonny right back up here before we let him roll here on Cova Sports TV at 757 Sports Talk. I know you've got one more question, I think, for him, Ed, which has to probably do with some tennis players to watch out for in the state before we roll. See, I can read your mind. I'm like that. I'm psychedelic like that. You know that?
I mean, we got to turn it back into local so we know who the up-and-comers are. Maybe we'll see them in Wimbledon or the French Open or something someday. So Sonny usually has his finger on the pulse of that. Yep. So we'll see if he does.
Ear to the ground on it for sure. We'll see if we can reconnect him before we let him run, take our final break, and then give away the tickets and do our Ask Coach Young double question today. We got a question for you and a bonus question, which the bonus question is even better than the regular question. I'm just going to do that right here and now. It is better by far and away than the other. Oh, we got Sonny back. Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? My phone light went off. Okay.
That'll happen.
That maybe means I was out of the picture. Okay.
No, your last point, and then we got one more question from Ed. We'll let you
know. Yeah. Just, we're in this weekend. At Princess Anne Country Club in Virginia Beach, there's a $20,000 tournament going on for men's and women's doubles. Like Tyson Kwiatkowski, who won the NCAA championship for Virginia in 2017, is one of the players. You know, he was in the U.S. Open. And it's a real fun event. It benefits an Achievable Dream Academy.
Awesome.
That's where I am at the moment.
Perfect. Ed, your last one you had for Sonny?
Sonny, one last one to get to you. Mm-hmm. Who are some of the top? You mentioned the young fellow there from Virginia, UVA playing. Who are some of the local top tennis names, men and women, you could throw at us that we need to hear that maybe down the road we'll be hearing their name on TV?
I don't know about TV. I think you'll be seeing a fair number, playing in big time college action. One that immediately comes to mind is because I live in Newport News. Victoria Epps won the Class 5 state championship for Menchville in her senior year. She's going to play for Loyola, Maryland now. But yeah, it's more a matter of the young players. A kid named Ved Vanga in Virginia Beach comes to mind. Paisley Hogue in Williamsburg comes to mind. There's just a fair number of them. Not all of them play high school tennis. Some just play USTA, and some play high school. A lot of good depth, though.
Good deal. Well, hey, make sure you follow him on the X or the Twitter, @Dearth. He'll give you more tennis updates and all kinds of sports news and notes. Does great work for the Virginia media, Virginia Pilot Daily Press, and so much more. Our pal, Mr. Tennis in Hampton Roads, Sonny Dearth. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the time this morning. Enjoy the Wimbledon. We'll talk down the road, my friend.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Ed. Have a great one.
You too.
All right, Sonny. Enjoy.
Sonny Dearth with us here on 757 Sports Talk. We've got one more segment coming your way. Tickets to give away, plus the Ask Coach Young and bonus Ask Coach Young questions. It's all on deck here. Where are you watching the show, Ed? What is it?
Cova Sports TV, the best.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, like, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. You need John Maynard. PFP, LUTCF, EA, all those initials behind his name mean he's qualified to work on your taxes. He's an ATA, accredited tax advisor. He's an ATP, accredited tax preparer. He's a fellow at NTPI, the National Tax Practice Institute. And if all that weren't enough, he's also been voted the best of Norfolk and the best of Virginia Beach awards. John Maynard has been professionally trained in tax preparation and representation. He brings to the table over 30 years' experience in federal and state returns. He delivers personalized, one-on-one service, and he's a certified electronic filer. The IRS likes electronic filers. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service, 455-6763.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Mad skills, boys and girls. Mad skills. We've got more 757 Sports Talk coming your way now on Cove Sports TV.
And we're back. It is 757 Sports Talk on Cove Sports TV. Why do you shake your head?
You mispronounced a word.
Which word did I mispronounce?
It was not mad. It was bad.
Bad? It was not bad.
B-A-D. Bad.
Well, sometimes people say bad as in meaning good. Like, that's a bad mamma jamma, right? You know
we
what
had George Pantas on talk about wrestling. I had Ted DiBiase, one of the greatest ones, was going to get you out of the pool. He was going to take care of it. He was going to offer you money.
We showed that last week. Yeah, we showed that last week.
And apparently either he missed the pool or you gave him some money that he walked away. I don't know what happened. So now I got to find somebody else to get you out of this pool. We could kind of tolerate it without seeing you, but now you put yourself in there. We got to work on this.
Well, like it says on the screen, like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV on YouTube. If you missed any of the show, which included George Pantas talking wrestling, Sonny Dearth talking tennis, Glenwood Ferebee talking Tallwood football, or anything else, you can go back and watch it, archived, the entire show. And it is now time, which also includes our 5-minute burning topic, for a double dose today. A double dose of Ask Coach Young. We have a bonus Ask Coach Young, too. Coach, what do you think about the potential expansion of the NCAA basketball tournament? This comes from Greg and Hampton. And if you're not up to speed on what's being talked about, they're in discussion about expanding the NCAA tournament, which hasn't happened for 40 years. It went from 64 to 68, not really an expansion, but back in the 80s it expanded, as you well know. They're talking like it's likely going to move to 72 or 76 teams. What's your feel of this? Because there's been both internal and external pressures pushing to have the high majors go towards something no one wants, which is separate tournaments of haves and have-nots.
Well, first of all, I'm for expansion, but I want to get rid of I know it's become really neat to see first four, where the teams are battling to become, I think it's a 10th seed or something, and also become a 16th seed.
Why? They want it for television ratings and revenue. With you have a Carolina or a Kentucky or someone playing in that game. Yeah.
First of all, it will expand only because of one reason. What's governing everything right now? Money. Yeah. So it's going to expand because it's going to be more money.
To all your questions is money.
Yeah, it's definitely going to expand. Do I want to see it expand? I wouldn't mind where we can make it where there's no buys, no play-ins. We just pick the teams. And again, I like where the NCAA does for basketball what they don't do for football. If you win your tournament or regular season, depending who's the real champ, they automatically get in. Though 99% of those teams, the lower ones, are never going to win it again because all the good players are moving on up. And which also brings to mind your second point where you said there's talk about maybe having two tournaments. Big boys and the smaller guys, so to speak. And I'm not even against that anymore because I'm telling you all, you're not going to see.
No, you ruined the pageantry of the tournament. People look forward to the little guy, the George Masons, the VCUs, the Butlers, the Davidsons.
They're not going to win it.
Yeah, but they can make a Final Four run, and that's part of one shining moment. If you put them in a separate tournament, I totally disagree with you. You're off your rocker.
This is what people,
John Rocker.
This is what they all wanted was free enterprise, pay to players, people moving all over the place with no rhyme or reason, chase the dollar bill. This is what you get. I don't like it either, but I told you I'm a realist. Okay, the days of UNC Charlotte back in the day when they won the NCAA title, you're not going to see that kind of stuff anymore. So it's just not going to happen. I love it when the small guy, so to speak, moves to the Final Four. Yes, it brings intrigue to it. But I just think the way it is now, and I'm speaking out of a little bit of bitterness because I hate seeing I wasn't brought up that way with the tournament and whatever.
You're definitely bitter.
Anybody could really have a legit shot of winning it. Your George Mason runs and all that. But it just pains me to see what it has become until they really put teeth in it, which I don't think they will. Like, now the schools as of July 1st can pay the players outright. I've talked to some people this week about it. And they said, well, wait a minute. I thought they're already paying them with the NIL. I said, no, NIL money is coming basically from outside organizations for the most part. If a school uses a kid's name or on a jersey or whatever, then they have to pay them image and likeness. But now they're just getting money point blank from revenue. And again, I'm not against paying the kids. I've always said this. It's just out of hand how it's happening. And you can't tell me, let's take basketball since we're talking about it. Kentucky's revenue for basketball is the exact same as Old Dominion's revenue for basketball.
But it wasn't years ago when we still had issues. So I think the
issues we had years ago was the big boys cheating, paying under the table. You still had top-notch players going to the lower schools. Now you have top-notch players making it at a smaller school and then getting buzzed up to the big boys who offer them. We're not supposed to, but they do. And then the kid jumps in the portal. Or we got kids jumping in the portal who think because I'm a Division II All-American, I can go in the portal, somebody's going to want me. They don't even have somebody coming after them. They just think somebody's going to come after them. Or they got and agents. A lot of them have now agents. Say to the kid, go to the portal. Now I can get you. I can go out and talk to schools because you're in the portal. Because when they're tied to a school, you can't do that. So it's crazy. It's just crazy, and it's going to get more out of hand.
He's cranky, folks. But he did say put some teeth into it.
Put some teeth in the doggone thing. That's what
needs to be done. Now here's our bonus.
That's why my mindset keeps going back to pro wrestling. We know it's scripted, but it's entertainment. We can sit back, laugh, yell, scream, whatever, and then go out. Football, basketball, that's not supposed to be scripted. Okay? And it's supposed to be everybody has a legit chance. No, not even half the teams have legit chances, football or basketball, in winning a national title. That's gone.
Let's get to the bonus question, because we do this show on July 12th. Some will watch the replay on July 14th, 15th, or 16th. But yesterday was July the 11th. And you know what that means, right? Or do you not know what that means? If you don't, I'll fill you in on what it means.
July 11th.
Well, our bonus question comes from Margie in Portsmouth. We saw on last week's show how much you love freeze pops. But did you get your free Slurpee on Friday, 7-Eleven? She wants to know.
No, I love freeze pops, and I think I had about 19 this week.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, it's 7-Eleven day. Okay, Derek, I didn't make the association.
I got mine, and so did my little niece Noelle, and she loved it. I got the cherry flavor, and she got the pineapple something flavor. I don't know.
It's for the little kids. Yeah, I don't do free Slurpee day.
But you do freeze pops.
I kill freeze pops. I'm on my third bag of the summer in the freezer right now. I kill
make your head frozen. You're going to be a frozen pop head.
Yeah, freeze pops and watermelon. Kill them. Absolutely kill them.
Yeah. So you didn't get yours. Margie, sorry to tell you, but that's the bonus question, and he did not get his. I got mine, though. Took care of mine.
The Slurpee thing is out of the way now. What we got to get determined is we've got 2 double-pack tickets for the big VCW show next Saturday.
How about we do one, and they can either comment on the YouTube or the Facebook or any social channel. You got a trivia question or anything you want to do, and then I'll figure out how I'll give away my pack in the days to come. Because I don't know what the amount of time.
My trivia is simple. Now, first of all, don't try to win tickets if you ain't going to the show. Okay, it's limited. It is general admission, but it's first come, first serve. So if you get there early, you'll get a good seat. Because I know one thing, I'm going to be there real early because I'm sitting as close to ringside as possible. I know the commissioner. He can pull some strings for me. Mm-hmm. Hey, who was the local wrestling that unfortunately, because of a car accident, had to give up wrestling, but he still made it through? Anybody remember that person's name? Because George talked about him on the show here. And that person, you get a free 2-pack. We will send your name to George. George will put your name at will call. You got to have your license with you, some kind of identification, who you really are, and then you'll get the tickets at the door. And I would recommend getting there early. Doors open at 6, show starts at 8, and it will be a complete sellout by showtime.
And they can just answer that question on the chat line. Do you want to give out your direct phone number so you can have it blown up by 8?
No, man, get on the chat line. Come on right now. You should know this stuff. I mean,
you can call Ed Young at 757-6. Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a local. I forgot to ask George. Did this guy wrestle at high school in the area? I think he did.
Well, he did mention a couple of folks that did.
Yeah, I think he was at Great Bridge. I think he wrestled Great Bridge. Maybe somebody knows that. Did this person, I almost gave the name out, did he wrestle at Great Bridge High School because he's from Chesapeake, born and raised in Chesapeake. So I wonder if we can do that.
Mine will be at a later time, and it will not be wrestling related to get wrestling tickets because that's just how I operate. I operate differently than you.
Yeah,
And
if there's a one-car parade, you'd screw it up. You'd be going the other way.
No, I wouldn't screw it up. That's going to conclude today's splendid July 12th episode of 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. For all of our guests, from Coach Ferb to Georgie to Sonny, Jack with CJ Frasier, and all of you interacting, tweeting, IGing with us. Oh, I got to shout this out before I forget. Earlier in the show, our man, and by the way, James Timmons said good morning from Baltimore. He's up there for Orioles and Marlins. But watching the show was Jay Quinterly Kids, our man John Quinterly. You know John, former standout area, longtime football coach, coached at Maury, was an assistant with Hank Sawyer for many years, part of championship runs. His one son, Nyree, had a heck of a career at Lake Taylor, then Norfolk State and East Carolina. His daughter, Janiyah JJ Quinterly, she's been balling with the Dallas Wings. Her and Isaiah James from Princess Anne High in Virginia Beach. We're going to effort getting them on as they're both making noise as rookies in the WNBA. Really cool to see. Really cool to see. But we thank him for tuning in and looking forward to seeing what those young ladies do here as their pro careers are getting off the ground. It makes us feel old. We were watching them and covering them and calling their state championship games not that long ago. Janiyah at Lake Taylor at a Norfolk and Isaiah at Princess Anne in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I remember both young ladies in high school. They were standouts then, standouts in college, and looks to be right now they're going to have a fine WNBA career.
Yeah, both making noise. So watch out for us. The WNBA is heating up here. It's more than just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, folks. There's some other talented players in that league.
Whoa. We're talking talented players, not Angel Reese.
Whoa, hold on now. She's been rebounding the heck out of the ball. So you can't say that. That's actually
talented.
Disrespectful.
That
is rude.
Angel Reese can rebound because of her size and whatever.
That's rude and disrespectful.
Talented. You call it what it is.
Wrong. She is talented.
Give me Asia Wilson. There's a million girls you can mention.
I didn't say she was more talented than Asia Wilson or the best
said
for the
talented
league.
girls, and then you put her in.
But you said you're saying she has no talent. That's wrong and disrespectful.
I'm saying there's 117 girls better than her in the WNBA.
No, not that many. I disagree. Not that many. No, that's an exaggeration of exaggerations.
There's girls retired that can whoop her butt.
Probably so, but 100 just because of your dislike for her, don't disrespect her.
Don't dislike her. She's not a talent. Period.
She is talented. Yes, she is. She might not be the most talented or the fifth most talented, but she's talented, as is Caitlin Clark, as are the young ladies from the 757. So get out of your feelings and go jump in the pool. Oh, wait, you don't have a pool to jump in. I'm sorry. And Keith's taking care of his mama. She had surgery. Best to your mom, Keith.
Knee surgery. All right. Keith, make sure she's not doing a lot of walking. You do all the walking for her.
Do all the walking and all the talking. For all of the tweeters and folks like Derek and our man Tim Jones, who was commenting earlier on the show from Henrico and Virginia Wesleyan and going into Henrico Hall of Fame, big ups to him. We thank all of you, and we'll do it again next Saturday, as it always likes to say, Lord willing, on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. See you later, alligators.